We turn our attention to the penultimate DD2 heat of the meeting. Race 18, Heat 5, Groups A versus D. Here is your starting grid. Starting on pole position, Glenn Van Parijs in the 400, and he will have France's Paulo Besoncenet. Both have picked up a heat victory at the very least this weekend so far. Matis Malinovskis and Ragnar Virus on row 2. Chris Seiders and Dennis Thiem ran out the top 3 rows ahead of Sebastian Jankowski and Sweden's Hannes Morin. It's an all-German row 5 with Ronny Göttler and Robert Schorpian rounding out the top 10. Fabian Bock from Germany has Great Britain's Henry Ayres alongside him on row 6. Follow that up with Friedrich Jerich from Austria and Tim Mikametz from Germany. The next row, it is Peter Bezel and Maxime Deriche with Sebastian Legrand, Marc Bartels and Luca Minoretto rounding out the 19-strong grid. The rain has not stopped, and it looks to be intensifying once again. Out of my viewpoint from the commentary box window, there is an area where I can actually see how hard the rain is coming down. The rain has been hitting the windows here on every single surface that is exposed to the elements pretty much all day long. And for some, it's helped them out. For others, it has hindered them. Nevertheless, drivers can really do their level best once again. Just keep pushing, keep plugging away. And maybe there could be a silver lining behind any particular cloud, and there are plenty of clouds in the sky here in Belgium. So it looks like we have a latecomer to the party at the back end, who will have to join the back part of the field now. I've got a feeling that could be, well, that had maybe, you couldn't really pick out the livery, but someone is now making their way through turn 5, as everyone else is about to go into the tram lines. So, race director tells them to slow. We go lights out. Van Parijs versus Besoncenet. Malinovskis trying to go through. Besoncenet runs wide. Malinovskis gets up the inside, goes into second position as they are scrabbling all over the place. And I'm just keeping an eye on what's happening behind Ragnar Virus, battling away with Hannes Morin as it's 3 abreast coming through turn 4. So Morin was just ahead of that contretemps. He's trying to make his way past Ragnar Virus. And Luca Minoretto a little bit further down towards the back part of the field. It was Dennis Thiem in the Cosmic chassis, the 454 from Germany. So top 3, rather close in proximity. And Van Parijs leading, Matis Malinovskis from Latvia. Paulo Besoncenet in 3rd, but he's having his own battles to fight because Hannes Morin is now up into 4th position. Morin having started from P8. So Dennis Thiem languishing at the back part of the field. A big differential between Luca Minoretto. Well, Minoretto has got past Maxime Deriche and Marc Bartels, who goes side by side into turn 12. And Minoretto nearly gets caught up in the crossfire. And one goes one way, one goes the other. As now Besoncenet gets past Malinovskis for second position through turn 2. Frenchman now trying to move up and try and challenge Glenn Van Parijs. It's early goings, it's just over a minute and a half into this race. And Besoncenet trying to do his very best to move forward and try and pressurise the leader. The gap between Van Parijs and Malinovskis at the completion of lap 1 was just over 7/10 of a second. So Jankowski is trying to get on toe-to-toe with Hannes Morin. But Fabian Bock who started in 11th, already showing up into 7th, the completion of the first lap. So the German showing again that he is a known quantity. Whether that true potential has been unlocked is very much early days, as now he goes up the inside of all people, Ragnar Virus, and then Chris Siders decides, well, if he's going to get past him, so shall I. And then Sebastian de Grand now factors in. So great battle there. And look at the train behind us, a three-way scrap, one of which might have been Maxime de Riche, and then you had the likes of Marc Bartels and Luca Minoretto and Ronnie Goetler in that mix. So Goetler started 9th alongside Robert Chopin. Chopin's running out the top 12. And these conditions are nearly catching people out. As the 4:35 of Frederick Jerich trying to go toe-to-toe with Peter Bezel. And the Bezel brothers did a really, really good, impressive job to keep pace and pass Rasmus Vendelbo in their last heat. Henry Ayres trying to keep in the wheel tracks of Luca Minoretto. Well, it's actually, that is possibly Ronnie Goetler. So the 466 is dropping, but the top two, Van Parijs and Besanconais, starting to stretch an advantage over Malinovskis. The gap last time was just under 1.35 seconds. And I've been receiving some good messages from lots of people, including Jen Wade, as Besanconais trying to go for the lead into turns 1 and 2. Up the inside goes the Frenchman on the Belgian and gets the move done, hits the curb, can't go sideways to the left. Van Parijs trying to get the switch around, and that's a brilliant anticipation from Glenn Van Parijs. Gets back up the inside through turn 4 on Besanconais, but Besanconais up the inside through turn 5, takes the tighter apex. Van Parijs goes to the right-hand side and actually misses the apex completely, but carries the momentum through into turn 6, down the Europolan. Van Parijs could go one way, then the other, but Besanconais uses that curb, that assists, and that's actually quite a good strategy call, as long as you don't run wide, which, Besanconais has done, and as a result of that, we've had Besanconais retake the lead from Van Parijs. Junior Rotax drivers 206 and 277, that's 206. That's Nick Gerhards, and 277 of Bruno Mulders to report to the stewards immediately. As Hannes Morin has got past Matis Malinovskis. The Swede now up into 3rd position. The back end squirming whilst trying to bury some traction, as there's an absolute dogfight behind. Sebastian de Grand putting it round the outside of several drivers, and one of them was Sebastian Janchevski. There goes Chris Siders up the inside of the driver himself, the 483 from Poland, going through into turns 1 and 2. But now, Fabian Bock fancies an opportunity to go into battle with not only Sebastian de Grand behind him, you've also got Peter Bezel just up ahead. Some of the drivers going completely sideways whilst applying the throttle. Good to hear from Jen Wade. And she said, enjoying the racing with everyone else watching from somewhere in the world. Eloquently put there, Jen. Thank you very much for that, and good to hear from you. So a lot of drivers really showcasing some interesting prowess, and notwithstanding some interesting racing lines in this race here at Genk. 4 minutes to go. De Grand trying to go up the inside of Bock through turn 10. Nearly a touch between the pair, but De Grand hits the brakes as the 483 as Sebastian Janchevski has just had Ragnar Virus go up against him. And Virus has come out on top on that one as they go into turn 12 up ahead. Let's just have a look at where they are at the moment. So Peter Bezel, Frederick Jerich is trying to keep pace with, well, he's ahead of Ragnar Virus, but behind Chris Siders. And now Fabian Bock starting to pull away. You've got a bit more traction coming out of turn 4 in comparison with Sebastian de Grand, but de Grand closes up into turn 6. And to be honest with you, apart from the fact that they might be completely saturated, I'm sure that they are having a lot of fun out there. Of course, they're going to be absolutely drenched, not just in perspiration, but just the sheer amount of water that they've been hit with from every single side possible here at Genk. It must be the fact that when you're out racing, you're having a hell of a lot of fun. So a lot of drivers making their way through into turn 10. One of them goes very wide. That was Maxime Dehiche, who's got Luca Minoretto closing in on him. And Minoretto, Dehiche, I think just went up the inside of somebody. Now, who is that? And that is Janchevski. Janchevski's been dropping. Janchevski's been dropping down the order as now Peter Bezel closing on Matis Malinovskis as they go through turns 4 into the left at 5, and there's an almighty three-way dogfight going into turn 3, and that's being led by Luca Minoretto as he's got past Janchevski, and it looks like, of all people, Maxime Dehiche has just gone side by side through turn 4 with Sebastian Janchevski, and he's got him. He nailed him on the outside of turn 6 before even hitting the throttle to go down the Europolan. Well, do my eyes deceive me? No. Is it right in front of me? Yes. This is brilliant stuff. Some great racing all the way through the day. We still have plenty to go. And the best, well, there's plenty more still to come. And sometimes they do say the best is saved until last. As now, Peter Bezel goes sideways whilst going up the inside of Matis Malinovskis, going through turn 12. As Fabian Bock and Sebastian de Grand again cross the line. They are line astern, and they were covered by just under a tenth and a half. That's the battle for 6th position. So Peter Bezel is about 1.4 seconds behind Hannes Morin with the Swede, the inaugural Euro Trophy champion in senior road tax back in 2018, up to P3, having started on the outside of row number 4 in 8th position. So Luca Minoretto, he's made up a few places, started 19th, now up into 14th. And last time around was 1.3 seconds behind Marc Bartels as Fabian Bock and Sebastian de Grand go through into turn number 8. Timer fast ticking away. And if you have got an opportunity to gain a position, you better start doing something now. As de Grand right in the slipstream, down from turns 9 to 10 on Fabian Bock. As there goes Peter Bezel. Now he's caught up to Hannes Morin. Now I'm looking at the lap times. Peter Bezel, a 1:14.341. And previously he took a chunk out of time from Hannes Morin. So Morin now down into 4th position as the timer has now expired. Paolo Bisonsene on course to get his 2nd race victory here on Heat State. We'll have one more DD2 race after this. And after all the results have been classified and confirmed, it'll be Groups B versus C next time out. And then we'll have 3 more to go. We'll have the final heat for DD2 Masters, and then heats 9 and 10. That's races 21 and 22 at the meeting for senior road tax. So Besonsone had just under a 2.1 second advantage over Glenn van Parijs. Dennis Thiem about to cross the line, and now last lap board being prepared for France's Paolo Besonsone. Looks over his right shoulder, sees there's going to be no real challenge from Glenn van Parijs, who's 2.1 seconds adrift, but still Van Parijs' consistency has proven quite useful. And especially when he's raced around this track in multiple different categories and over the years, especially in the B&L Karting Series and the Belgian Max Challenge. Besonsone just taking it nice and steady. And one of the things in these wet weather conditions, as a little bit further down the order, Marc Bartels has been closed in on by Luca Minoretto, the Italian looking to secure 13th by the checkered flag. But Besonsone, once he got into the lead, he has not looked back. So the checkered flag will be prepared for the Frenchman. 4:05. As Dennis Thiem will now get the final lap board, and then instantly we'll have the checkered flag straight away. So Dennis Thiem takes the last lap board as Paolo Besancini is victorious here in Belgium. Another race victory for him this weekend. Glenn van Parijs, nearly 2.5 seconds adrift. Peter Bezel takes third position, and he started down in 15th. Again, just showing the caliber of not only the combination of driver and kart, but also the team behind them. So a good job from him. So Van Parijs second behind Paolo Besancini. Hannes Morin started 8th, finished in 4th. Matis Malinovskis started behind Glenn van Parijs on row 2 in 3rd position, and he secures P5. Fabian Bock in 6th. A great drive from the German. Started in 11th, finished in 6th, ahead of Sebastian de Grand, who made up 10 places to finish in P7. Chris Seiders, Friedrich Jährich, and Ragnar Virus ran out the top 10. Tim Mikametz in 11th, ahead of Robert Chopian. Mark Bartels bringing home a trio of Germans who rounded out positions 11 to 13. Luca Muraretto, 14th, ahead of Maxime de Riche. Henry Ayres, Sebastian Janchevsky tumbling all the way down to 17th by the checkered flag, with Ronnie Göttler and Dennis Thiem rounding out the 19 strong.